So sometimes we get asked, does it ever snow in Dallas? And I'll give you a second to answer that one for yourself. But if you've seen any of our other videos, you know I'm always bragging about how nice it is in the wintertime and how I don't have to really wear a coat all that often. And then this happens, right? And so in this video, we're going to discuss some of the reasons why you would not want to move to Dallas, Texas. And we're getting into it right now. Hey ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for the most thorough deep dive into all things Dallas, Texas, well this is the channel that helps you do that. So I invite you to subscribe down below. Make sure you tap the bell for notifications so that you can stay up to date on the current market here in Dallas. Of course, we drop new videos every single week. My name is Jimmy. I'm a local real estate agent, born and raised here, and we're getting tons of calls and emails every single day from people just like you who are ready to make that move here in Dallas, and we absolutely love it. So if you are thinking about buying or selling here in the Dallas area, you got to reach out, right? Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or jump on our calendar if you want to jump straight to a Zoom call with us. Of course, that's our favorite, but hey, whatever's easiest for you, you know, we've got your back when making a smooth move here in Dallas, Texas. Now, like I mentioned, today we're going to talk about some of the reasons why you would not want to move to Dallas. And the first one that we have to start out with here is, listen, when it does snow, the city is not really prepared for it, right? Maybe some of the residents are. I see somebody's trying to build a snowman right behind me right here, which is awesome. But other than building massive snowmen, you know, the city, you know, we don't really have snow plows or even salting the roads and everything like that. You know, they will salt the highways. Really, they sand the highways as well, but even then it's really only one lane that they'll do that on. And so you know, but the rest of the neighborhood, I mean, you can see like these streets right here, there's no plows coming through here. You know, I was actually on a call with one of our clients looking right now, and she was asking, does anybody even like shovel their driveway or anything? Yeah, no, that doesn't really happen either. And so really kind of the whole city kind of shuts down in a way. I mean, the schools definitely shut down, and you know, just because the risk of having that many cars, you know, congregate into one place when the road conditions are pretty crappy, quite frankly, just isn't worth it, right? So, you know, schools shut down. A lot of the businesses will shut down, but of course, you know, your big box stores like Walmart and stuff like that will stay open. Grocery stores for the necessities and things like that. Yeah, you're gonna be staying home when it does snow here in Dallas. And one thing that you will want to know about is so here, anytime it gets below freezing, you'll see signs in the streets and everything saying, you know, freeze warning, you know, let your pipes drip, right? And so because if you don't let your pipes drip, I don't know what it is with the pipes down here, but if you don't let them drip, the water will freeze up sometimes, not every time, but it will freeze up. And then when it expands and then when it thaws out, you know, those pipes do tend to burst. Okay, so that's never a good thing. Well, that guy's got some snowboards right there. We got some hills up and down here. I saw a couple of kids when I was walking earlier with a snowboard, and they were you know, snowboarding down this little hill right here. It was awesome. But anyway, so yeah, so you're gonna have to, you know, let your pipes drip whenever the winter time comes, whenever it's, you know, under freezing and everything. Otherwise you might have a big old leak, and you know, of course, I'd rather, you know, spend a couple of dollars extra on my water bill than have to, you know, shell out a bunch of money for, you know, fixing that big leak and putting in a brand new pipe. All right, so anyway, with that being said, I'm kind of cold, so I'm gonna take this inside and we'll continue this in the comfort of my home office. I'll see you there. Woo! Feels good to be back inside with the fireplace going. All right, let's keep it rolling here. So the next reason why you would not want to move to Dallas, Texas is, let's talk about the public schools. Okay, now listen, before you skip, here's what I mean. Okay, what you have to understand about DFW as a whole is we actually are host to 8 of the top 10 public school districts in the entire state of Texas. Okay, so we're actually stacked when it comes to public education. Well, what I'm talking about is within the confines of Dallas ISD, probably not going to be finding the ratings that you might be hoping for. Okay, so the good news though is that as soon as you step out into even the immediate suburbs right there, your ratings get quite a boost actually right there. So make sure you check out the top 25 best public schools in DFW. I'll link to that up above my head and below in the description as well. Make sure you check those out after this video if that is of interest to you. And I do say after this video because we've got plenty that you'll definitely want to hear, so make sure you stick around. The last one, I'm telling you, is one that you do not want to miss out on. Now, we have also done, we also covered the top 25 private schools. I am a product of the private school system here in Dallas, so I have some insider knowledge there, if you will. So make sure you check out that video as well if that is of interest to you. Okay, next, let's talk about the tolls. Okay, the tollways are kind of a thing out here, so just another expense that you'll want to be certainly aware of. Okay, many of our clients who reach out to me are looking for that North Dallas area, which is where a lot of the toll roads are, right? So of course you have Dallas North Tollway that runs straight from downtown all the way up to North Frisco. It stops at 380 right now. They are extending that. The plan is to, or the projection is to complete that extension by the year 2023. My sister is a civil engineer, by the way. She worked on the Clyde Warren Park down there in downtown Dallas, the park that splits up downtown and uptown right there. And so she knows a thing or two about roads, and so she said, yeah, 2023 is probably a good projection right there. So that'll be really nice for the likes of Prosper and places like that, up into Salina as well. So we're really looking forward to that being completed. Okay, but the other ones are, of course, President George Bush Turnpike, commonly known as Bush Turnpike right there. That's just north of 635, and then you have north of that, you have 121, or Sam Rayburn Tollway, or also known as SRT. A lot of the highways have different names and acronyms all over the place. You'll figure it out. It's not that hard when you come here, okay? But, listen, I mean, it is an extra expense, of course, that you want to be aware of. And then, of course, when you move here with us, we've got the DTL moving checklist, which will show you how to get a toll tag, which is definitely the best way to go about navigating the tolls and everything. So the most cost-effective way, and we show you how to do that on the DTL moving checklist. Okay, so again, if you're interested in moving to Dallas, make sure you reach out. We'd love to help you make it a smooth moving out here, and we'd love to help you in any way that we can. Okay, the next reason why you wouldn't want to move out to Dallas are, let's talk about the guns. Okay, listen, if guns scare you, it's listen now. It's not like people are running down the streets like what's that cartoon from Nickelodeon, the guy with the big red beard? What is that guy's name? I can't remember his name right now. But it's not like people are running down the streets like this, okay? Especially for my personal experience. My father was Special Forces, Green Beret, Ranger, Airborne in the Army and everything. And my personal stance is, listen, I mean, it's owning a gun is a big responsibility and something that should be taken very, very seriously. And so, it's not something to take lightly, okay? But it certainly would come in handy if someone were to, try to barge into your place of residence and do mean things to you, okay? And so, from that standpoint, I think that's where most Texans stand, okay? So if you don't agree with that, or you just guns scare you in general, then anywhere in Texas might not be for you, okay? But listen, I have many friends who don't own guns, and that's totally cool. It's not a big deal. It's not like people are going off or going around and showing off their guns and stuff like that, okay? It's not like that. It's very very responsible culture around gun ownership over here. Okay, so but if that's something that scares you, then yeah, might not want to be coming to Dallas. Okay, but hey, if you like what we're talking about so far, please tap that like button down below. It would mean the world to us if you did that. Thank you so much. Make sure you're subscribed as well. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss the next video that we drop. So make sure you tap the bell for notifications as well, so that you can get notified when we drop that next video. Okay. Next reason why you would not want to move to Dallas is the landscape. Okay, the flat landscape. All right. Listen, we don't have mountains here. We don't have the ocean either, and so. You know, we do have lakes though. You know, Dallas is known for our lake life, all right? And you can find, you know, some different terrain, some hilly, you know, up and down terrain closer to the lakes and everything. You know, especially, you know, out in Rockwall and Grand Prairie and places like that. You know, you can get some up and down a little bit. Yeah, you know, listen, the good news is, you know, listen, I love going to Denver and getting out there, going to Boulder, doing some hiking and stuff like that. And the good news is you can get a flight out there for under $100 a lot of times, you know. And so, I mean, it's easy to jump out there. If you really need to get your fix, you know, you can definitely go out there and do your thing out there for a weekend or whatever it may be, okay? You know. Getting out to LA might cost you, you know, $100, maybe $150 to get out there. Or Miami, same thing. You can find some good deals. That's the good news about Dallas is, listen, DFW Airport, because we're so centrally located in the country, right? You know, you're 4 hours away from anywhere, right? And so maybe more like 3, right? And so you can really get anywhere pretty quickly. So it's nice from that standpoint, but. You know, again, we do have that flat landscape, which, you know, I do like the, you know, waking up and looking out the mountains and everything. You know, I mean, I wake up, I look out at my golf course out the window, and so that's good enough for me, right? But if you need mountains, okay, Dallas probably isn't going to be able to provide that for you, okay? Next, let's talk about the property taxes, okay? Now, listen, you know, Dallas gets a bad rap, or Texas as a whole gets a bad rap for having really high property taxes. But you got to remember, we don't have the state income tax, okay? So that certainly helps us out on that front. We actually did another video, I'll link to that one as well, where, you know, we broke it all down and we did the math on, okay, is Dallas better? Or, you know, how does it compare to, you know, some of these other states and everything? When it comes to property taxes, and I think you might be a little surprised by the conclusion that we came to in that video, so make sure you check that out. But yeah, listen, I agree with you. Property taxes are certainly high here compared to other states, you know, but we have some other things that offset that, you know, like we have the homestead exemption and different things like that. You'll have to check out the video dedicated to that explanation right there if you want a more detailed look into everything around property taxes, okay? Now, the next one is going to be one that I haven't seen many people talk about, and that's going to be the foundation problems that you can run into down here, okay? So, listen, Texas, you know, it's clay soil down here, okay? And so, you know, a lot of the homes are built on concrete slabs. And so what that means is, you know, when we have, you know, extreme weather, like an extreme drought, or, you know, like a ton of rain in a few days span type of thing, right? You know, that kind of, those extremes, you know, can shift the ground a little bit, right? And so especially, you know, if there's a big drought, you know, that's how trees, you know, grow and extend their root systems when there is a drought, right? So they can soak up as much water as they possibly can, right? And so when they're extending their root system, you know, that could mean some problems for the foundation sometimes, right? And so now, does it happen all the time? No, but can it happen? Yeah, certainly can, okay? And so what that means inside of your actual home is, you know, worst case scenario, you'll see some cracks in the walls, right? more so that happens in older homes, I will say. All right, the newer homes, you know, they're doing some things to combat that, right? But you know, I mean, other things, you know, maybe your door doesn't close as flush as it used to, or as it originally did, right? And now it might only do that for a brief period of time, right? And then it'll rain, and then it'll go flush again, right? And so it's just kind of one of those things, right? But the good news is, you know, the professionals here have really figured it out, and are very, very good at you know, fixing all of those problems, and are able to stabilize your property really with remarkable success. Okay, and so if you do ever run into that problem, there is a solution. Okay, so you know, you can rest assured that it's not the end of the world. Okay, so lastly, you know, I know you've been waiting for this one, but listen, the last reason why you wouldn't want to move to Dallas is going to be the summer heat. Okay, I mean, listen, it is no joke. I'm going to tell you a story here in a second, but you know, July and August, yeah, if you can't handle the heat, then don't even bother coming to the kitchen, okay? Because it is not for everybody, okay? You know, I'll tell you a story about actually at the beginning of last summer. I'll tell you the beginning because it's not the end. By the end of the summer, you're kind of used to it, right? And you figured it out. But at the beginning of last summer, so I play tennis. I play at a pretty high level. You know, I play on a team with, you know, some guys who used to play on the tour. Not anymore. They used to, but you know, and one of our guys, you know, we were playing a match, and he was playing a very physical, physically demanding match. You know, long points and things like that in the summer, and you know, he didn't bring the big water jug, right? And so, you know, like we were making runs, you know, to the convenience store and bringing water back and things like that, right? And so, you know, by the end of it, I mean, it was like a 3-hour match for 3 sets. It might have been longer than that, come to think of it. But you know, I mean, he finished and he was okay. But by the end, you know, he was talking about how he was seeing stars, and I mean, it was kind of, you know, it was a scary situation there for a second, right? And so, you know, again, he was okay. You know, he's a beast, but you know, it was scary, you know. Meanwhile, his opponent on the other side of the net, you know, he came prepared, okay? He had the big old, you know, water jug with the insulated interior, so it kept his water cold, right? And he even had the ice towels where, you know, you flip it over and it cools the back of your neck during the breaks or during the switchovers and everything, or changeovers. And I mean, he came prepared, okay? And yeah, so listen, if you're gonna be doing anything active in the summertime, don't think that, you know, a little, you know, Ozarka, you know, 16-ounce bottle of water is gonna do it for you, okay? Because it's just not, okay? Be prepared in the summertime. Do not mess around with that, okay? Because it is not something to be messed around with, or you could have some very serious consequences, okay? So just make sure you're prepared, right? Make sure you know, bring your sunscreen, all right, kids, and you know, work on your tan over the summer like I do. You know, you'll figure it out eventually, right? You know, how much sunscreen you need, you know, until you get your base tan, and then you don't have to worry about sunscreen as much you know, you'll figure it out, right? So anyway, but yeah, listen, hey, if Dallas, if none of these things have scared you off completely, and Dallas is still where you want to be, then of course we'd love to help you make a smooth move here, and we'd love to help you in any way that we can. So make sure you reach out, you know, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, jump on our calendar if you want to jump straight to a Zoom with us. Of course, that's our favorite, but whatever's easiest for you, you know, we've got your back when making a smooth move here to Dallas. And again, if you haven't already, make sure you tap that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well. We're about to drop some incredible content here over the next few months, so make sure you tap the bell for notifications as well, so that you can be notified when we drop those new videos. And you should see some videos now popping up on the end screen that can definitely point you in the right direction. Of course, we've done a ton of different styles of videos on this channel, so make sure you check out whatever is really popping out to you. And with that being said, until the next video, I'll see you around town.